Welcome to Whose Turn Is It Anyway, a podcast all about our gaming group and of course board games. I'm Kerley, breaking his virginity as the first player.
Hey!
And I'm joined by the other players, Tambo,
Hello!
Becky,
Hey!
and JP.
Hello.
How is everyone?
Pretty good. I'm wired, fired, and ready to go. I'm on holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say ready to go.
I'm ready.
On holiday.
I've literally, with the suitcases are packed.
Oh, really?
And tomorrow we go.
Nice.
So I think I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, maybe last episode. I can't remember. No, holiday's coming, and it's literally here. By the time this episode is released, I would have come back and gone,
Yeah, but when you listen to it again, you'll remember.
Yeah, like, I'm so excited. But work is finished. Work was done Friday. That's always a good feeling. 2 and a bit weeks off work.
You're going to be depressed about doing this editing when you get back.
Yeah. So JP, if this is for you, just don't be depressed.
Future
Your holiday.
JP.
Remember the holiday. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But yeah. How about everyone else?
Well, I got over my COVID, so that was nice. So, in the last episode, you go, I've got a bit of a cold.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a cold. I had COVID, so that was fun. But I've had a really nice week at work, which has been really good. And, I'm feeling really good.
Sweet.
Thanks.
T-Bone?
I'm just tired. Sunday for me. Busy lunch.
Yeah, Sunday's a rough day for you, isn't it, pal?
Yeah, plus with lots of golfers today as well. It's probably a bad day to say I could do it, to be honest. But hey ho, all par for it. It's fine.
Yeah,
You'll get through it.
JT's excited energy.
Yeah, I will bring you negative energy.
I'll bring you up too.
Yeah.
Get
his face.
Yeah.
I'll bring you up.
I'll bring you up. Don't
Listeners,
worry.
he's so excited. You can feel the frisson of excitement. Honestly, he's like a little ball of energy.
Little puppy.
So anyone with any news?
Yeah, I've got some news. I
mate.
wanted to do a big shout out to Matthew from Shirts and Merch. So Matthew was a chap that I met, and I think a few of us met at the 24-hour board game marathon event. And he had a stall where he basically was selling some really cool board game related T-shirts, hence the name Shirts and Merch. And it's not just a bog standard T-shirt that has the game, the board game name on it per se. They're really cleverly done, or they're like, for example, there's a Twilight Imperium 4 one, and it looks to me it's like a kind of a mix of the TI 4 layering and a Nirvana T-shirt from the 90s.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, it does.
And I picked one up, which is an Anachrony T-shirt, which is the weird symbol. I don't know what it is, but it's a symbol.
It's like a triangle cubey.
Looks like an Escher painting kind of thing, but it's the triangle-y 3D design thing. But anyone who knows Anachrony will know what I'm talking about, hopefully. And I've got one of those. And he had loads of different ones. I think you picked one up, didn't you, Becky?
Yeah, I got 2. Of course I did.
Did you? You got 2?
Yeah, I bought the I built a zoo when it's got the Art Nova, and it's got kind of Art Nova colours and logo in the centre.
Yeah.
And I got like a big heart which is covered, made up of little meeples.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like a stealth geek. You'd have to be in the know to know what that was about.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of thing. It's that they're subtle, but if you're in the hobby, you'll just pick it up straight away. And if you're not, you won't be like, what? Well, it's not immediately obvious, is it? So I just wanted to give a shout out, and Matthew also will have a Kickstarter. Obviously, by the time we're recording, I don't think I have the link yet, but we will have the link, and I will put it in the show notes, so you can go and check out all the information, and we'll put his details in the show notes as well.
It's an Etsy shop.
It's an Etsy shop, yeah. So you can literally check it out. Good stuff.
Right, nice to know how you guys are doing and what you're looking forward to and all the news. So with that, let's move on to the next section. The next part of the podcast is our Let's Talk About Hex segment. So, guys, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? JP, start us off, please.
Well, before I jump in,
Yeah, go on.
I want to say your first player, mate, which is really good to see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Like, this is the first time you're doing it, right?
It is the first
and
time I'm doing it.
You've been on how many episodes? Loads of them.
Oh, absolutely loads, yeah. I'd say probably about half.
Yeah,
half the
you've been on
episodes,
quite a good chunk.
Yeah.
And you're here doing it, and I just want to say well done.
Thanks,
because
mate.
it takes a bit of a little bit of like prep and organisation and
a
stuff.
bit of prep, organisation, bit of thinking about
a
it.
bit of pressure.
A little bit of pressure. It's kind of linked a little bit to my job, so it's not too bad once I'm sure I'll be used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I just want to say well done for stepping up, mate.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to your episodes and
Good.
the topics that are coming. But anyway, games, right? I want to talk about games.
Let's talk about games.
I am going to talk about a game I talked about in episode 32, so a few episodes ago, which is Voidfall.
Oh, yeah.
And you think, oh, JP, you've already talked about that. I'm like, I know, but at the time, I talked about my first impressions of the game, having played the tutorial, and I think that was it. And now I've played it 4 times. and haven't even played my copy yet.
And it's barely even out yet.
It's just arrived.
Exactly.
It's literally just arrived.
4 bloody times.
This week it landed in my house on Tuesday. It's now Sunday. I have to think about when it is. And I only unboxed it yesterday. But I've been playing. Played it on Tabletop Simulator once, and I played on the Gaming Wall stream a couple of times. And I just wanted to kind of circle back round and just talk about my experiences now I've had 4 plays in case people find that interesting, rather than first impressions. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's first impressions, and they get really hyped up, and maybe things might change as you play more games.
I haven't played it yet, but I do wonder how much of the excitement around it is hype, because it's been the first Mindclash that's kind of traditional Mindclash for a little while now.
Yeah. I mean, for me, having played it 4 times, I mean, spoiler alert, I love it.
There's a surprise.
It was a surprise, but I it's one of those games that you kind of keep thinking about. Do you know when you play a game and it just sits in your brain, and even when you're not playing it, you're going, oh yeah, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder, what about this? I could go down, and you're just rattling all of these strategies and things in your head. And I think when a game's doing that, when you're not playing it, like for hours, and you keep thinking about it, it's a good sign for me. That's like a hallmark of this is something really interesting.
The first games review I ever watched was Shut Up and Sit Down's version of War of the Ring.
Yeah.
And they said actually they didn't particularly like the game, but after a day they were like thinking about it and like, what could I have done? And then they kept going. They couldn't get them, and then they were playing it again the next week, and then it's turned into one of their favourites.
Yeah.
It's probably not maintained that because, you know, it's 5-6 years ago they did a
isn't
review, but, you know, they said that is a hallmark of a good game if you just can't get it out of your head.
Yeah.
I think that's a hallmark of any kind of good media, such as a film or books, specifically for me. If I'm reading a book and then, like, you know, the times I can't be reading it when I'm doing something else, I'm thinking about the characters, what's going to happen, motivations for stuff, and for me that's like just the mark of something that's you know, you really enjoy it. It's really good.
I had a reservation after I played the tutorial and probably my second game. I'll circle back on that in a minute because it's quite an important point. I think many people might have the same reservations when you first get into it. But just for those that don't know what Voidfall is, I would kind of say go back to our old episode. I do a kind of overview of what the game is, but in a very, very short summary, it's kind of it's a heavy, you know, 4.5 out of 5 game. Becky need not apply here.
I'm just check me out.
It's a heavy boy. Mindclash Games obviously produced, developed it. It's designed, actually the majority of the design is done by Nigel Buckle, and David Turtsey has kind of helped assist on the design. And Nigel, I didn't realise this, but I kind of researched it a little bit. Nigel previously designed a game called Omega Centauri, and I think David Turtsey calls it the greatest 4X game that no one has ever played.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of an older game. It doesn't obviously have the Mindclash polish, the production levels that are in there, but the fundamentals of the Omega Centauri has been basically ported into Voidfall in its design. So that's quite nice to see. So something that's kind of an older kind of game that's been freshened up and giving it the Mindclash treatment and entering into 2023. So I thought that was quite interesting. But in terms of the kind of game flow, which I didn't really get into too much on the last episode, the game kind of flows into 3 cycles, and if I didn't mention, it's like a 4X style game. So again, you're going to get comments of Eclipse and Twilight Imperium. You're just going to get it. It's nothing like any of them. It doesn't play like anything. It plays like a Euro game.
This is the one that you said kind of had like worker placement and other kind of aspects.
No.
So that was Ascendancy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which I'm going to talk about later on.
Yes, this is more spaceships.
Oh, my brain probably started turning up. That's why I was thinking.
Space. Bye.
Space 4X 4.5.
Yeah, I've had enough. But no, the kind of game flow is broken down into 3 cycles, and each cycle has like a galactic event that will kind of dictate what's going to happen. So at the start of that event, you might get some benefits, you might get corruption, because the whole thing's around this like Voidborn. It's like this ancient alien species virus thing that's been infecting the entire galaxy and corrupting a lot of the houses and civilizations that are across the galaxy. So this thing is ever kind of present on the map. You're always fighting against it, and if you kind of abandon sectors and systems, it will just creep back in. So you've got to keep like attacking it and sorting it out, and it will constantly put you under threat and that kind of thing. But the main thing I want to kind of talk about is the game is all in these 9 focus cards, right? So it's a card-driven kind of action selection mechanism in the game. So you'll have this hand of cards, and again, typical Mindclash, each card has 3 actions on it. So, you've got 9 cards, 3 actions, 27 actions. There are shared actions across the cards, so it's not 27 decision spaces, but kind of the focus cards will have a primary purpose, but the other actions on there might appear in other cards, so they're very blended. So, for example, if you want to fight and do conquesting, conquest is your main way of doing it, but on politics it's on there as well. So it's kind of, if you want to go militaristic, you can. If you want to go more economic, you can. Things like that. And the game reminds me, weirdly, even though it's nothing like it, reminds me of Tricarion, in that you've got your cards and you're trying to sequence the cards and actions and what you're trying to do. So if cycle 1 is 5 focus cards long, because it tells you you've got 5 cards to play, or 6 or whatever, you're going, right, I'll play that one first, then that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then that one. You don't have to program it like Tricarion, where you make the decision and lock it all in, and then, oh no, I've cocked up, and the whole round is gone.
But you have to have a bit of a plan.
Yeah, you should be thinking, well, do that, and then links to that, and then do that, and you can pivot if something goes different or wrong. Yeah. And I like that. And again, your whole game, your head is buried in these cards, and you're like, all right, how do I get this? And you're like, well, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. And again, it's just typical Mindclash. If you hate heavy games, stay away from this.
Yeah,
I would advise it. It's probably their heaviest.
Definitely one I'll be watching a video of.
Yes, and
I hear Paul Grogan's one on Gaming Rules is pretty good, right?
Yeah, he's done one. It's an hour long.
Yeah.
But it's thorough.
Yeah. I think it has to be honest.
I don't
it's got to be an hour
you
long.
Can't teach this game in 10 minutes.
No.
You just can't do it.
It sounds like when you were saying your head is buried in these cards, does that mean that what other people do isn't affecting, or is that where you then might need to change your little
Great
plan?
point, because this kind of circles back to what I mentioned at the beginning, which is my worry for the game was that it's quite insular, and I'm just doing my own thing, and you can't really interact with me too much.
I don't mind that in a game.
Yeah, but you can have scenarios which are, I don't want war. I don't want the war, because I hate the war bit, and I don't want you coming in and really giving me a kick in. You can play that kind of peaceful scenario. So all you're doing is engine building, good old fashioned Euro, and just beating up the void ball.
So you might
Happy
as well
days.
be playing solo and comparing scores at the end.
Yeah, you can do that. Or you can have ones where there's a bit of aggression in there, where you can get in people's way and you can attack them, and you can do those things. Again, being attacked is not the end of the world. It's just going to hamper what you do. So what I wanted to mention is my fear for the game was that it didn't have enough interaction with the other players until I played this 3-player playthrough on the Game of Rules channel with Paul and Stephen. Shout out to you, Stephen. And oh my God, I just absolutely, it all kicked off that game, and it showed a different side of the game. That showed kind of how powerful certain ship types are, and Paul upgraded to these destroyers, and he just went on a rampage around the map, and he was just abandoning sectors. He came into my area, and he's lucky because I was literally about to give him a kick in the next turn, and he preempted it, and he basically took one of my sectors, because my empire was quite tall, so I didn't have many sectors, but it was a lot of population, a lot of engine in a small space. His was very wide, spread out. It was spread very thin, so I was hoping to knock him back. But so it was quite good to see a game where it was very different to the others that I played, and you can lean in various different ways. Anyway, I'm gushing over it because I'm loving it, and I want to play it right now, and I can't because I've got to wait.
Change this episode's name to the Voidfall section?
Yeah, it's a Voidfall episode, but no, I probably should shut up and let other people talk. So.
Love you, mate.
Yeah,
thanks for that, though. Give me a bit of an idea. I don't know much about it yet, apart from Mindclash, and I'll probably love it.
Yeah.
So it gives me
I hope you do. Like I say,
because he wants friends to play with by the sounds of it.
If not, I'm playing solo, so yeah. But that's good.
All right, T.
Yes.
What about yourself, mate? What have you been up to, bub?
So I mentioned the game we played on Friday night, which was Twilight Imperium.
Yes.
I'd like to bring this one up.
Another 4X.
Another 4X, yeah. No, it was really, really, really fun. I enjoyed it. It's been a while since I played anyway. So Jay dropped out, so I could hop in, which was very nice of him.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
He didn't have any choice.
No, he didn't. No. So I played a race called, I would try and pronounce it, but Akchaka Kingdom, I think is how do you say it?
Space Turtles?
Space Turtles. We'll just call them Space Turtles.
Space Turtles.
They're kind of the peacekeeping people, I think.
Yeah.
That's
they
not
seem
like
like
you,
it.
mate. That's not like you. You're normally
No,
go
I
in
don't
there,
know.
do a bit of stabbing.
He said he was peacekeeping, but he built loads of dreadnoughts, and he was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, I'm just keeping the peace, guys."
Keeping a piece
It
of
was just defensive reasons.
I see.
I did a bit of research for the game, and I saw that had some information. Just head for retro mechs and try and keep it, and then you just do all the agendaing and all the politics side of it. Because they're very powerful in the politics.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it actually paid off for once.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Who won, Kerley?
What's that?
Who won?
I don't know, mate.
He's got cocky, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he just.
I don't normally beat. I'm like Becky. I
announce-
don't normally beat you, so
You can announce your own victory, Tambo.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not doing it for you.
Right, yeah.
Tambo gets to wear the king crown for TI until
do.
the next game. Cause
Yeah,
he
so actually,
won.
the funny enough, the last time I played TI, I won as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I don't play as often as everyone else, so
Ah,
my
okay.
win record's quite good.
I'll sort out your TI crown. Has anyone got a felt tip?
yeah.
I
Are
can't
we going to write
promise
on
it's
it?
going to look like a crown.
No.
Maybe a member.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played it as 4-player, which was quite nice, wasn't it? It was a very
Yeah.
peaceful game, to be fair.
That's
I
what I
mean,
was
we
gonna
only had the one
mention.
big scrap at the end. That was it between me and you, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, there was a few little digs.
Little digs.
I think JP was the first to have a little dig. If memory serves.
Well, I had a lot of secret objectives that were kind of saying, like, get your ships next to someone's home sector, and anyone does that, like, no one's going to like that.
No.
And then it was like, win a fight and destroy one of the ships or something. With that, win a fight that you had a promissory note of that other player. And literally, I just played a card that got everyone's promissory notes into my hand, and T just had one fighter just sat in a sector. I was like, I can't ignore that.
That's just too easy.
No, you're dangling this little carrot, going, "Come and get it!" And
You went and got it.
I went and got it. So we had like lots of like strategic little pokes,
little skirmishes.
little skirmishes to get victory points, and me grovelling, going, "T, this is not an act of aggression. This is not an act of war. I promise.
I'm
This is
not
just
Because
training."
Tambo was not weak at the time.
I allowed
either,
it.
was he?
And you were pretty good, because I thought he'd just come at me in full force. But I think you knew, having
He
Mechatol
was-
Rex,
yeah.
I had my plan anyway.
you had
Yeah.
obviously Martin like on the other side of the board, who's armed to the teeth, and you
yeah.
had Kerley pretty much shoring himself up across all the asteroid belts, because you were
Yeah.
Clan Asar, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
And ready to strike at any opportune moment. And so if you'd put your attentions to me, I think you would have left yourself exposed, and one of these two warmongers would have
How
jumped
dare
in.
you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now listen,
But-
you can't see this, but they're all like got these big grins on their faces, and it's like they're talking about, remember when you're 20? I mean, I only just remember that when you go out the night before with maybe work friends, and then you come into work and you be going through all the kind of shenanigans you got up to the night before.
Yeah.
That when this happened, when that happened, that's what they all look like
That's
right
our
now.
equivalent. I mean,
It is, and I don't like. Well, I say I don't like it. I've never played it. I've never played TI, but it absolutely does not appeal to me.
Space.
But just watch it, Space on board. But just watching all three of you like reminisce about this game, and I know Kerley, you really were not in the mood for it. You were
No, I wasn't,
super
no.
knackered. You'd been stuck in an awful traffic queue for like 2.5 hours earlier that day. You were super tired, and you were like dragging
and I
yourself.
was forced to do a team building exercise at work all that day as well.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
blimey!
So I was like, I was all done by the time
I
got
don't want to
home.
do this.
Just
But-
tapping out.
You still went, and looking all three of you now, you had such a good time, and
yeah.
I can't say it makes me want to play the game because that's going too far, but I can see why you guys like it, because I can see how sort of it's fun for you guys to sort of sit there talking about the little things that happen, and that's
It's
a really nice thing about board games.
It's an
I think.
event game, isn't
Yes,
it?
it
It's
is,
like
yeah.
there are certain games in collection, TI being one of them. And we talked about them in many episodes, like Game of Thrones and others. But it's an event
Yeah.
game, so it kind of just
Yeah.
builds. You build your day. Although we played on a Friday evening, which is interesting.
2 a.m. finish.
It was a 2 a.m. finish, so it was a late one. But I don't know. This time just passes.
You get
quickly.
invested.
Yeah,
That's
you
what it
do.
is. You get invested in your own personal little narrative, and,
Yeah.
and that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
And I can see that through all three of you, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah,
I have a new arch nemesis now, Martin.
Martin.
Right at the end, he played an action card that stopped my action card, and I thought, where's that come from? It's like he did it.
To be fair, he did it just because he could.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. I still,
To be fair, for those of you who've played TI before, he played Sabotage on him, which basically says
No,
you're
it's
not
a
doing
no
that.
card.
But
Yeah.
I had that card, but it left me that card so that I could use it later on Tambo, you see. So it was one of them. But it was good though, wasn't it? Because we had that last fight at the end, like you were saying, last fight at the end that probably decided it.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
I had won it on the attack, I'd have probably won, and you did win because I couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, you couldn't invade and take over Mechatol. So yeah, and it was an epic finish. So it was quite nice to get to that conclusion where it was like, right, it all comes down to this moment. Me versus you. We're both on 8 points. Like, if this happens and this happens, then that's it.
I also had an action card that kept the 2 agendas, which actually maybe
That
destroyed JP. And actually
That killed
won it for
me.
me.
The strategy cards.
The strategy cards, I kept them.
because I was playing the Nalu collective,
Yeah.
so I always have initiative 0, which means I always score first. I always go first, and I love that faction. It's brilliant. They're kind of like space witchy kind of people. And yeah, I thought if I can get that Imperium strategy card back, and I can get that played and hope, and a lot of my win was based on chance on the next objective being something I could do. Because if I could do it, I would have just won on the first turn. But turned over and I swore, I went, no, that's that gone. So it's between you two. But yeah, great game.
Yeah, great fun.
4-player, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Bigger slices on the map.
I think that's my preference now, to be honest.
Yeah, I wished it was a bit quicker.
I think that will come with time.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played it.
It's been a while since a couple of people played it, and
but it's good. Yeah, loved it.
How about you, Becky?
I've been playing a lot of Crokinole, as you know, because I've been playing mostly against you, Kerley.
Yes.
I got the Crokinole board down to actually show Kerley's brother, who's getting into woodworking, and I was like, well, if you can make some Crokinole boards, you could be in the money, because they're selling for a lot of money at the minute.
Yeah.
And that just kind of stayed on the dining room table since then. So in every kind of sort of 20-minute, half an hour little gap we've had, we've just been playing rounds of Crokinole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I'd forgotten how much I like it.
Just so chill, isn't it?
It is. Well, it is, but we've been playing the not tournament scoring, so the kind of first to 100.
Oh, okay.
And we've been staying pretty level with each other. I mean, I think we've probably both got about a similar amount of wins to losses. I don't know.
I think it's probably like
count.
3 or 2 or something like that.
Right.
But it's not been like an absolute drubbing.
Yeah.
It's been, 20, 30, 45, 60. It's stayed quite level, which is quite nice. I've really enjoyed it.
I haven't played for a long time, so it's nice to play a few games.
Have you not fancied getting that Crokinole? Is it Imperium? Have you heard about this?
No.
You not heard about it?
Twilight Imperium Crokinole.
No, it's like you get basically you put all the dreadnoughts on. And then, it's a deck of cards you can get, and it turns the game of Crokinole into, I don't know what it turns it into, but it kind of gives you challenges and actions, and it kind of just adds another layer to Crokinole. It might be worth checking out.
I think I will check that out.
I'm not quite sure specifically what it does, so listeners, let us know if you have the
What's it
Crokinole. Crokinole Imperium, I think it's called.
Okay.
And then I'll find out after the recording it's not called that. It's called something like that. If not, I will correct
Check
myself
the
in the
show
show
notes,
notes. But yeah, I keep meaning to mention it because it looked quite fun, like this twist on the game.
Yeah.
Give you something.
Certainly, if you've played it so much 1v1 that you just want a bit of variation.
Yeah.
I don't think we're at that point yet, but it might be something if we leave it downstairs and still enjoy it in a couple of months' time. That might be a good idea.
Who
I'm a
knows?
bit scared that I'll see the cat sleeping on it though.
Well, that will happen.
Yeah, we have been putting the box back over the top of it just for like protective reasons.
Scratching the
you can just see the cat just like, I don't know.
Not your Tracy board.
Yeah. No, it's not the Tracy board, it's the Woodestic one, but
Okay,
still. That at the minute is about £400.
What, the Tracy board?
I think the Woodestic. I
Oh,
may have
wow.
got this completely wrong, but maybe I should check that before I said it.
Yeah.
But
If it's wrong, this won't make it in the episode.
No.
So it's fine.
What makes me laugh about that Tracy board is like we never play with it. It's like the Queen's finest crockery.
Yeah.
It's like
the Queen's finest Crokinole.
we just don't play with it.
Can't play with it. We might scratch it.
If me and Becky, when Becky owns it and I'm her husband, don't play with it.
I would have thought you two
what's
would
the
play
point?
it.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
the reason I
What's the
bought
point
the
in
other
it?
one downstairs is because the Woodestic one looks more like something that someone who's doing woodwork could make,
Could make,
because
yeah.
it's solid wood rather than any kind of weird
Yeah,
textured
yeah.
surface.
I think
So-
it's because she doesn't trust me with it.
No,
personally.
that's not the reason.
She waits to go to work and then she's like, I'll get my
right.
tracing board
Yeah,
out.
that's it. I only
It's only
play.
for me.
I only play that on my own.
Fair enough.
It's when she starts it's like saying like precious.
Yeah, £400.
Wow.
£400 for a wood estate
They've
one.
gone up then.
Wow.
Yeah, they definitely weren't that much when I bought them.
No.
I'd say about half that price.
Yeah, easy. Easy. Oh, there you go.
Right, and so me. What have I been doing? So board game wise, I want to pick out Perseverance Episode 2, and I've played Perseverance Episode 1 loads. I played Episode 2 quite a few times, but I haven't played it in about 6 months or more. And I really missed it, so I jumped in on this one, and I just love that blooming game. It really is in the top few for me. I know it. Hey, look, I always think everything's top 3, but when I actually look at it, it's an easy top 10. It's an easy top 10. It's just so much fun. I love Perseverance Episode 1, but it just takes everything from Episode 1 and just makes it better, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Like, for those of you who've played it before, I know we did a bit of an episode where we've talked about it, so I'm not going to go into detail, but essentially the variation that you get in Episode 2 from being able to make your own leaders and characters and level them up how you want just makes the game for me. Otherwise, I think it's actually quite a similar game, to Episode 1, but just that one variation changes the whole game. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Great to get that played, especially because Episode 3 is not too far away.
Been demoed like at Gen Con recently, and I think we will get a demo of Episode 3 at GridCon this year, because
that's good.
Mr. Toots is coming, I believe. So he'll be demoing
We'll
Episode
probably
3.
see it at Essen as well, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'll be before, won't it? Oh, 100% we'll see it at Essen. So I think that'll be my number one thing to do, I think.
Get there straight away.
Well, I'll go with you.
Yeah, so I'll definitely trying to get on that, yeah.
There's a few purchases I want from Essen, but that's one of the ones I want to actually demo if I can.
Yeah, Dino Riders. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Dino
Riders.
Dino Riders.
Sounds cool.
And
Dino
I
Riders.
saw one bit where they were flipping them over. They had like a double counter where you could flip it
Oh,
over
I didn't
one
see
side and
that.
have it the other, and I was just wondering what that was about.
I think there's T-Rexes involved as well.
Nice.
I mean,
what could be better?
It's
Come
great, it's
on, everyone loves
dinosaurs.
a T-Rex.
It's great.
I'm actually, I really like dinosaur games. I don't even know why. I think it must be like
It's a
Jurassic
kid
Park
thing.
back in the day or something.
It's
but
like, doesn't it make you feel like a kid?
it does a little bit. Yeah.
I get taken back to Lost Valley of the Dinosaurs by Wobbingtons.
Yes, mate. Honestly, I loved that game.
That's
with the
brilliant.
lava going down
Yeah.
into the... Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I feel sad that I missed out on that. I've never
Oh,
even
it's
heard
awesome.
of that.
Awesome.
I mean, if we played it now, we'd probably
It'd
be
be shite,
disappointed.
wouldn't it?
But it sits in a special place in my heart,
It
that
does,
game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I've been really into dinosaur games lately. What have it? Dino Island.
Yeah.
Jay's got Dino. Is it World?
Dinosaur World, yeah.
Dinosaur World. He won at the raffle, so I'm interested to give that a go. I bought Dinogenics at the Bring and Buy.
Oh, you did, didn't
I
you?
did.
You've
so
got
I
a
really
definite
want to get that
dinosaur
in.
little.
You got dinosaur fetish,
I
haven't
do
you?
have a
Yeah.
dinosaur fetish. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really think about the fact we had such a lot of dinosaur games in the collection.
Yeah. So I mean, I've only got 2 or 3, but I have. If they the theme adds something for me, and there's actually not very many themes that I'm really that bothered about. I'm more interested in the games usually, but yeah, definitely dinosaurs is one that just makes me more interested in a
It's a
game.
cool theme.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to getting that to the table, and loved Episode 2 of Perseverance. So
Yeah.
looking forward to number 3 at Essen, I guess.
And there'll be 4 when they reveal it, because they'll come 3 and 4 come as a
Yeah,
package.
I was
so
gonna say.
I think it's come to GameFound in the autumn.
Are you definitely getting it? I assume.
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
because it's
I'm just trying to work out. I don't think I'm ever allowed some of my favourite games because I cannot get past the logical bumper in the road of kind of like I don't need it because the guy I always play games with, but it's just like I still fucking want it.
I know. It's because I got episodes 1 and 2.
It'd be
To not
silly
buy
not to.
3 and 4 is like, what? Why?
Yeah, I almost wish I won the copy of Perseverance episode 1 and 2 at the raffle because I couldn't justify it myself.
Yeah.
But if I had it, I wouldn't get rid of it. I would get probably 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we are. But there we go. Right, moving on to our main event, which this week is super middleweight.
Ding
That's
ding.
our topic. Ding ding ding.
Ding, ding.
So I just wanted to kind of introduce this section by saying that it's highly subjective. What is a middleweight game is highly subjective. So if you disagree with some of our points, you're right. If you agree with some of our points, you're also right. Right?
You're definitely right then.
It's just one of them that is just down to opinion. So this is just, we are going to talk about our opinions, have a little bit of a chat about them, sort of talk about our favourites, things like that, and hopefully you enjoy it. But get involved in the comments and everything else. Tell us your favourite middleweight games, you know.
Are you going to start this by going, in the red corner, we've got...
No, that sounds more
corner.
like Bullseye.
You made it sound like Bullseye. Can't beat a bit of bully.
Love it.
I will also say at that point with the introduction of it is that not all games, in my opinion, fit into like middleweight, heavyweight, lightweight games. There are certain games, and I was trying to think about, okay, so what kind of games don't I think fits? For an example, I was looking at like a game like Nemesis, for example. I think it's more of an action-y, horror, co-op. I'm not really sure it fits easily into any of those, because you could argue probably that it could fit a little bit into all of them.
Yeah.
So there are some games that don't easily fit. So it's kind of a lazy... I don't want to say lazy because I find it useful, but it is kind of a weird terminology that has become accepted.
I think when I hear midway, I kind of think Euro.
Yes, exactly.
So midway Euro.
But I've also heard of it being referred to in the other subtypes as well.
Yeah, it's because complexity rating applies to all games, isn't it? So whilst Nemesis probably sits in the middle somewhere, I wouldn't weirdly class it as a midweight game.
And I agree. That's exactly what I thought, but I was trying to work out why I thought that, if that makes sense. So it'd be interesting for people's take on that one as well. So I'm going to go through it. I've made up some questions and I just want to get your guys' take on it, really. So I'm going to kind of go around and I'll try and mix them up a little bit. But Becky, what is a midweight game to you?
One that I enjoy, to be honest.
Okay, rightio.
To be honest,
simple.
I don't really like games where the amount of choices becomes detrimental to the flow of playing the game.
Understood.
So when you've got something like, well, any of the Mindclash games you've been talking about, or to be honest, most kind of games with a complexity over probably 3.5, according to Board Game Geek, let's just say, when you've got so many choices, I can't say analysis paralysis because I'm trying to I almost just get, I lose care.
The fun leaches out
because it's like, well, I could do this and that will do that, or I could go down this road and that I don't want too many choices. But that's why I don't like really complicated computer games either. I like a little platform, you go left or right. Simple.
So I'll flip that around then and say, okay, I know you like some lightweight games, but why then do you prefer a midweight over a lightweight? What is it?
I think if you do well, and that doesn't necessarily mean winning, but if you do well, you can feel quite proud of your achievement, because you can feel like, yeah, do you know what? I made a good decision or series of decisions. I weighed up the options and I worked out the, maybe not probability, but whatever. I kind of worked out a strategy that was successful. I mean, that, like I said, that may not then translate to actually winning enough points to beat another person, but I've become less bothered by that in sort of later years, and it's more about, did I do the game well?
So is it fair to say then your definition of a midweight game is a game that's challenging but not so complicated that it gives you some version of AP?
That's exactly it.
Okay,
yeah, something that's challenging. It's still got to be fun, but I think part of the fun for me comes from deciding what is the best thing to do and finding a good strategy.
Yeah,
I think.
Interesting. How about you, JP?
Yeah, I think it's similar. For me, it's simple rule set. Deep gameplay.
Oh, we got a question about that later on as well. Keep going, but
so it's the fact that the rules aren't overly complex. It's not going to take you an hour to really learn what the hell's going on. You can pretty much approach the game and go right. And obviously we play a lot of midweight Euros, so like every new midweight Euro that gets introduced, we just take to it for obvious reasons. But as Becky said, it's not having 30 decisions or actions on the table in front of you and which one do you want to pick. It's probably like, on the smaller side, but that doesn't mean that the gameplay is shallow. It means that the way that the game's designed, there's enough crunch in there I think it's similar. It's to give you, make you feel smart. I've worked this out and I feel clever and I've built something or I've done something and and I think midweights are kind of special, I think, in that respect.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they usually sit at kind of game lengths around 2 hours.
Yeah.
Usually.
2 to 3, yeah.
2 to 3, depending on. The ones we play. But
That's
yeah,
about how long I want to play a game for. to be
yeah,
honest.
Yeah.
and it gets your brain thinking enough so you feel like you've played a board game.
Yeah.
And you know, and obviously some of the light ones, they're there for fun. And don't get me wrong, there were some lightweight games that kind of give you that satisfaction as well. So it's not, you know, broad strokes and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say it's that simple rule set, but rich gameplay.
Yeah.
That for me is
Yeah,
what I
definitely.
really enjoy.
I mean, I haven't got too much on there, but I think accessibility is a big one for me, which kind of you guys have touched on anyway, but that's the difference between that and a heavyweight game. For example, I'd be happy to teach a middleweight. I think when it gets to heavyweights, there is some responsibility on the individuals coming for them to have a bit of an idea.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of where my benchmark is. If I'm happy to teach it where the people don't know it at all, it's probably a midweight game. Just because, for the most part, by the time you finish that teach, what's the time? 8:30, 9 o'clock, you know? By the time you've probably finished that teach, it's just not workable a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, but some mechanics. So, you know, where it's just that little level up into, you know, and a lot of that has got to do with, I think it helps introduce people to other parts of the hobby as well, more heavier games, just because it's, you know, it's got worker placement, but there's not a million choices. And now you're introduced to worker placement, so when you do get more choices, at least you've got a bit of a foundational knowledge, you know. So that's a midweight for me. It's and a really useful tool to get people into heavies as well. I will say midweights are probably my favourite out of all of them.
Surprise, it's your episode.
If you excepting Mindclash, you know, because that really is a heavyweight that I just absolutely love. But yeah, midweights is where, you know, but they're also a really useful vehicle. Tambo, what about yourself?
Well, my definition of a midweight is, or like a heavyweight. So heavyweight to me is if you've got to look at what someone else is doing,
Yeah.
then you've got to think ahead of your turns as well.
Yeah.
You've got cards in your hand, and you've got to put places on boards, and then you do various actions. If you've got all them in once, that to me is a heavy game.
I like that. I
So
like
it's
that.
split
So it's a
attention,
split. So
split
if you've just
focus,
got a worker placement and some cards in your hand that does stuff,
yeah,
and then that's pretty much your turn.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about too much what people are doing, just
Yeah.
apart from where you're putting the meatballs or doing something like that. That to me is a midweight game.
Yeah.
And the length's important as well, I think, as well.
yeah,
So, like, say 2.5 hours, 2 hours for
Yeah.
midweight. A heavy game, you expect more, but a midweight is kind of that. There's not too much going on. You've either got actions on your card, you pay for something, you're not thinking about someone else's turn, or, you know, you do one action, another action goes off another side of the board.
yeah.
That's my opinion of a medium weight game. Yeah.
That's really good.
I really like that too. I really like how and I think that's exactly honed in on what I don't like about heavier games. That having to concern yourself with what someone else is doing on their little spinning plates. JP's doing the little mime. Then it's absolutely right. I just can't be bothered to think about all those things all at once. That becomes work then for me, and I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So I think, T, you've hit the nail absolutely on the head there. When you're considering your stuff, and you're interacting with people, but you've not got to predict their stuff.
Yeah.
And you've not got to look at their player
And
board.
also, you don't
or
have to think
whatever.
too far ahead.
Yeah.
You know, next turn.
See, I would say because you have less plates to spin, you maybe have more brain space to observe other players.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like in a heavy game, I'm just going back to Voidfall, right? There were moments in that game where I just couldn't think of anything else other than look at those cards and go, how the hell am I going to get out of this
But
situation?
then it's come back round to you, and you've got no idea what everyone else has done.
And
right?
so with the midweight, you kind of already know what you're going to do. You've already figured out your path. You're there, and you're just waiting for the turn to come around. And then because you've already processed the brain power and selecting your action, you can look over and go, what's Kerley doing? Oh, he's been a bit dirty.
Yeah.
And how do we
That's unusual.
do I change what I do, or do I keep what you know? So you can get more of those. That's my opinion, but I get what you're saying.
No, that's it. Honestly, I never really considered it, but that's actually quite a big part of it. But it's not the only part of it, but it is it's a
big part.
Yeah, big part for sure. All right, thanks, guys. So the next little question I've got written down. What are the biggest advantages of midweight games? So you might not have much to add to this one, but for an example, for me, I've put potentially no video. So you don't have to do a video to research it. Potentially, you can rely on someone's team. Like we played Nussfjord the other day, and I didn't feel like I had to watch a video and stuff like that, and then come there.
I think that comes with time. Because now I think I'd probably be more prepared to just rock up and be taught something.
Good point.
But in previous lives, in previous years, even for the most simplest of games, I would have absolutely 100% wanted to, whether I would have gotten around to it or all of those things, I would have definitely felt an advantage of watching a video to pre kind of get the basic stuff in.
Yeah.
And I think, going from the question you just asked, my favourite thing about them is the fact that, like JP was sort of alluding to, it primes you for another midweight Euro.
Yeah.
Because there's so much cross-pollination. They're really good at kind of... Terraforming Mars, for example, is my go-to talk for everything. But that game has informed me about so many other mechanics.
Yeah.
That then when you learn the next one, you've already got that bit down in your head. It isn't such a leap then to learn
and I'm
another
not
little
saying
bit.
you'd be interested, but it might give you more confidence to try a heavier game.
Yeah, absolutely. If it
And
had...
TM is probably one of those games that I
Yeah.
would class as heavy, despite the fact we played it so many times it feels middleweight.
Maybe.
But I would say it's probably...
It's on the heavier end.
Yeah,
It's on the heavier
end.
end,
Again,
for
it's the
sure.
same thing. You've got cards in your hand. You've got to place put certain places. You've got to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm crap at it, because I'm not seeing
Yeah.
what everyone else is
but
doing.
that's why I put that
Damn
as a heavy game.
yeah,
But it's
no, you're
interesting
right.
though,
You're
because
right.
actually we would naturally, and not even really think about it, we wouldn't introduce someone new to the hobby to TM, would
No,
we?
probably
We
not.
would introduce them at the level of Lord to Waterdeep, or even I don't know why I thought of it, but that Ice Age type game that you
What, Endless
just sold,
Winter?
Endless Winter,
Yeah.
all those type of games that are kind of towards the middle and lower
Yeah.
end of that middleweight, just kind of like and then after a couple of weeks, even a month, 2 months.
Weather machine.
Here's TM.
Machine.
yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds like a JP.
Yeah.
Can we get to Lisboa quickly? Yeah.
When-
But I've just put down no video, similar to that, play and teach, so that's a big advantage. So you
Yeah.
can kind of play and teach as you're going along.
Yeah.
Encourages people to try more complex mechanisms
Yeah.
and heavier games. So that's a lot of what we've already talked about and what defines
Yeah.
a middleweight game, but that is what it is to me, the big advantages of a midweight. Also, you could argue time. So
I
just
think
the
time
fact that
is
they
the
are
way, yeah.
all 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
But any other comments? I mean, I know it's not a
It's-
massive question.
No,
but-
I don't think so. I think we covered the core points. The time one was the one I was going to suggest just then, because if I was thinking, going back to our other episode of game days, like midweights are the ones I'd gravitate to
Yeah.
the most to
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
to the table because of the time.
Yeah.
And I always think I want to get as many games in as possible. So midweights are like, but I also want to feel like I've played a game.
Yeah.
And that's not to dislike weight games, but I want to, again, going back to the reasons of I want my brain to feel active. I want to feel
Yeah.
like I've achieved
Yeah.
things or built an engine or done
Yeah.
whatever. So cramming, 4 midweight games in 8 to 10 hours, it's a good day.
Yeah, and the fact that if someone hasn't played it, you can do the play and teach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
you can theoretically do it. Whereas if it was anachrony,
Yeah.
you just wouldn't even try.
It's kind of like, guys, have you played anything before? Yeah, we won't bother.
No.
It's not worth it.
no,
No.
it really isn't.
They're normally fun as well. Maybe they're fun because we like them because of all the things we've just said, but the themes are usually quite fun.
Do you mean light-hearted? Because fun is the definition of
Yeah.
the individual. Like I
Maybe.
find some really dark subjects fun when you.
Well-
like, I'm talking about Twilight Imperium.
Is that
is about
dinosaur,
invading.
thing?
Well,
Fetishes again.
Yeah, but like Dino World, you're talking about eating the vandals and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
I
quite
don't-
fun,
I don't
isn't
know.
it? That's
Well,
fun
that
when
is
you
true.
when you design
But
your
Nemesis
dinosaur
is not
park.
fun, but I find it fun.
It's
it's
definitely
like,
fun.
It is fun.
But it's like it's talking about aliens invading a ship that is always about to blow up and be on fire. It's not.
yeah, but
what
that's
I would...
fun, isn't it? Because it's so silly.
Okay, fine.
Silly,
I think we'll agree to
silly
disagree on
aliens.
this one.
I'm
Silly
thinking of
aliens.
things like Dog Park,
Okay.
and I'm going down the really lightweight
So you
side
mean
of things now.
light-hearted rather than
Usually pretty graphics is what I'm probably talking about.
okay? Fair enough.
Appealing.
Aesthetics.
Appealing, I think maybe because they make up quite a large market share, and that is
Yeah.
probably the ones that they try to push out most of, so they want to make them appealing.
Yeah.
And it works perfectly on me because I am the absolute sucker for them all.
Would you like a jigsaw?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's got nothing
So-
to do with the game.
But like
I'll have
for
one
example,
anyway.
I'm not interested in space, but I love terraforming Mars because of the way it's made up, and it's quite fun building your stuff in the map. It's quite fun making your little engine. The pieces are quite nice.
Yeah, I think it is subjective though, because I find it fun, and I put air quotes,
But yeah.
because not everyone's going to find this fun, but I find it fun when my brain is burning white hot trying to
No,
work out
I
decisions. So
don't
that
Yeah,
to
I
me
don't
is
find that fun at all.
there's like that's fun, because when I get through it and go, oh, that was a workout, that was, and then you can figure your path through it. You
Yeah,
just come out and
yeah.
you feel clever,
What about
even
you?
though
T?
you're not.
Well, I think you got a great point because it made me think about the videoing.
Yeah.
Every time I play Lisboa or
Yeah.
Weather Machine, I always have to watch a re-video beforehand.
It's always about
an hour.
long. Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
watch an hour to see how it's played again. And they're really heavyweight. So lightweight's really nice when you say you're going to play Lost Ruins or something and
Yeah.
you just go around and play it.
Yeah.
You've done it once, you know why it works, and that's a really
Yeah.
good point about middleweights.
Yeah.
And also, I always play middleweights with the family as well. That's how I introduce it now. I wouldn't actually introduce them with a light game now. I'll make it a bit more exciting and put a midweight game in.
Yeah.
And then that's you can test everyone where they are with games then.
Comes back to that accessible bit, just getting people into the hobby as
It
well.
does.
I think.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so this is linked to what I was saying to JP earlier on, and comment you made. So I'm going to make you go first on this.
Oh no.
Do you think that the BGG ratings, are they relevant? And even if they're not, regardless of this answer, I want you to give me a rough BGG rating as to what you think defines a midweight for you.
I mean, the obvious answer of what defines a midweight would be
Yeah.
3, wouldn't it? Like that.
Would it be out of 5? Would surely 2.5 would be.
Oh, well, that'd be halfway, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I'm already crap at maths. This is why I don't win games, guys. But yeah, no.
I went 3, and that was in the middle. And I know that 3 is not
Maybe
meaning
Yeah.
0.
do you
but-
regard below 1 as not being a possible score?
Yeah, I
maybe?
think
Is that what
probably
it
so.
is?
Maybe, because how many games on BGG get below 1?
Noughts and crosses.
Yeah, I don't even
Is
know.
there 1?
Yeah, I mean, 1 might
There
be the
must
minimum.
be.
I've never looked.
Yeah. Anyway,
But interesting.
I think it may be because of that. So for me, I think around the 3, whether it's, I suppose, a 2.8 or a 3.2 and up to maybe a 3.5.
Can I ask a really silly question? What does it go up to? I
5.
don't really look at ratings. It goes
5.
with the 5.
Yeah,
is
so
it?
it's
Right,
out of
okay.
5.
5 is the most
Most
complex.
complex.
So as you say, like Voidfall, as I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
4.5
4.5
out of
you did say
5.
that, right? Yeah.
Lisboa,
There's
probably
not very
4.2
many
or 3.
games over 4.5.
No, it's
I mean, they're there. But
yeah. I'm sure there probably is one that exists. What is the heaviest game? That should be a question. So yeah, I kind of would see kind of sitting around that 3 to 3.5 maybe, but I think you'll start pushing it as you get over 3.5.
Yeah,
That starts to creep into
that's fair enough.
some naughty territory of heaviness, which I love.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people use that tool. Ian in the group, he uses that tool a lot. He will see a game event being put up. First thing he'll do is jump on Board Game Geek, check the complexity rating. If it's above a certain number, I'm not sure what the number is, but he will go no.
Yeah.
Instantly, he will just say no.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's not accessible to him.
yeah,
He's not thick. He
No,
will
he's not
learn
thick.
it.
He's a
but he
clever
just-
guy.
But he doesn't want to.
he doesn't want to go through the experience, and he hates learning games.
That's how I feel.
So
I think I've gotten a bit better with it, but that is
Yeah.
my.
it's not worth the effort. I think it's what it is. Like the reward,
It's not
going
worth
through
it.
that process to get the reward of playing the game, and then maybe never playing it again.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No.
So yeah.
But Becky, what do you think?
Yeah, I think around about 3. I mean, when I look at the games that I enjoy playing, so we were saying Terraforming Mars is what, 3.
Oh God, that's the question. 3.7.
3.7? Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I'd be.
And I'm
totally
trying to
guessing.
think of the
I
game
did bad
that.
enough in the quiz at Christmas, if you remember. A guessing weights.
Well, Terraforming Mars is 3.26 because I've just looked it up.
Okay.
I'm trying to
With the
think of-
expansions.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm trying to think of the game that I still enjoy that's the highest rating, complexity-wise, and I think
Yeah.
Spirit Island is just on that knife edge.
Right. Understood.
And Spirit Island is what, something like, is it 4?
I don't know. I'd have to have a little look.
So
I think my lovely assistant JP is helping me out on this one.
what do I think? I mean, because some games can be really simple, but if
4.06.
wow, so if it's, I think 4 then is probably my enjoyable limit. Maybe
Yeah,
if some
upper
of
limit.
maybe if some of the games have got a lot of very, very similar mechanics, or they might just involve one more level of thought processing. And I
Yeah.
think that is what I don't like about Spirit Island. You have to be really thoughtful about the future,
Yeah.
and I just don't enjoy that layer on top.
I think you wouldn't have given Spirit Island a chance, to be honest, but yeah, you loved the theme.
I did, yeah, that's exactly it.
I don't think you really, I think your limit is actually below 4.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But a comfortable limit, but
Yeah.
you pushed it because you really like the idea of
Yeah.
defending off a lovely idyllic island,
Yeah, absolutely
fending
that.
off the invaders.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely that.
Just looked up tic-tac-toe, noughts and crosses
Yeah,
for us Brits.
yeah.
Complexity rating of 1.28.
No, it is not.
So I don't think it goes below 1.
Yeah,
Because if,
Yeah, maybe not that.
if tic-tac-toe is 1.28, then what the hell is 0.5? So I
Yeah.
think it is 1 to
Yeah.
5.
Yeah,
So therefore
okay.
3 being your sweet spot. then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reckon I would join in with JP with that. I think it probably could get a little bit lower if maybe there were more choices to make.
Yeah.
But I think, 4 is my absolute cutoff.
So we do believe in the value of the BGG ratings as far as...
I think it's a good guide.
Yeah.
But I think...
Barometer, yeah.
But for example, I'm surprised that Terraforming Mars is where it is, because I now think that game is, I can't say super simple, because that would imply that I'm good at it and win, and I don't.
It really is.
But the mechanics are... It's a very well-designed game in the fact that it's obvious what's going on. The things are really well designed. It's like going around a shop with really good instructions.
You know the rule set, that's why.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to think about the rules now when you play, you just play.
Yeah.
So even though it sits at, I don't know what it is, like low 3s, this is without expansions, but yeah, it's because you know the rule set.
Yeah.
It's like any game,
I think it's
isn't it?
actually quite a tough teach with the expansions that we
It
use.
is for somebody who doesn't play board games at all, because there's a lot of different things in there, I think.
I find Lisboa easy to play. And that's because I know the rule set. So it's in there, and I don't have to kind of think about you've got to do this and how does that work again. You know, I'm just playing it. So it's just the barrier to get to that ability level, I think.
Whereas Dog Park is 2.17. So I'd be prepared to teach Dog Park to someone who didn't play games at all. In fact, we've taught that to one of my friends and her husband, and they really enjoyed it, and it was they completely got the hang of it, no problem whatsoever. And they are not board gamers particularly. No. I think he is a little bit. So I think that's kind of is the lowest I would say is a medium. You could. Is it even medium?
I don't think.
No, I don't think Dog Park's medium. In my opinion, that's probably high rated. I thought it'd be less.
I think for me, and it's a little bit cheating, but this is what I've got written down: 2.5 to 3.5.
Okay,
that's midweight for me, and I appreciate that's quite a wide variance.
What do we think then is the lowest game that we play? What's the kind of easiest midweight?
I think Lord to Waterdeep for me.
It's what 2.8 is it?
I think that is the lowest for me, but I mean there is a certain degree of subjectiveness to the BGG ratings themselves, although I'm sure they use some sort of formula.
Yeah.
But there are some that I think, I'm not sure I agree with that. So Lords of Waterdeep for me is probably bang on 2.5 for me. Now I appreciate it might be 2.8, 2.9, whatever.
No, it's 2.45.
2.45. So that for me is the actual. That is a midweight game for me. Tambo, what's your thoughts?
To be honest, guys, I don't really use ratings.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't look at a game and think how can I play it. I probably just impulse buy, to be honest. I'm not
on you, mate.
Yeah, I don't really look too much about the ratings.
I like that.
How complexity of it.
Like, you don't need to. I know that's a good. You make a good point. Like we can get obsessed about BGG. We can get obsessed about that. I mean, it's a tool. At the end of the day, it's a tool, isn't it?
I don't use it obsessively. I just use it quite often for like hot games and stuff like that, so I know what's around and what people are talking about.
Oh, it's a great resource.
Yeah, it is a great resource, and like Ian, I do find it helpful to get a bit of an idea as to what I'm getting myself into. Like, do I watch a video?
Yeah,
do I, that kind of thing.
But I love Tambo's approach though, which is I don't care.
No.
Like,
I don't.
This game looks cool.
Things, but I like heavyweights and I like midweights, so I don't care what they are. Yeah, that's the point. So
that's interesting. I like that.
I don't look at the
Does it not change how you approach the evening though?
The what?
Does it not change whether you look at a video or not, for example, as we were talking about earlier?
Well, I hadn't really thought about it until you mentioned it now. So yeah, I mean.
So would you look at a video for all midweights?
No, I'll probably just read the instructions, I expect. So
I'm just.
I wouldn't. What?
Because I don't think I'd like to be without it. I'm not arguing with you entirely, obviously.
No.
But I'm just wondering, because I find it so useful for that reason. I was just wondering what you would do on a prep.
I think Tambo's like it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mean that. I don't mean about signing up. I mean on the day.
Right.
Whether you watch a video, whether you just turn up, do you just? I don't know.
So if I put a game night out,
or do you just
rely on? You guys are very good when you put a game out. You'll mention how heavy it is.
That's.
Yeah, I'll tell you. This is a heavy one. You should watch a video. And here it is.
So that's the way I look at it. Yeah. And I do watch a video because you say to watch a video.
So how do you know then? This is a good question. So when you're buying a game. Like you say, you go, oh, that game looks cool. That's looking really interesting to me. How do you know if it's a heavy or complex? Do you not?
I don't.
You just get it.
I just get it.
And go, ooh.
Yeah, I read what it's about. Because my latest buy was Beast. So that's my latest buy.
Yeah.
That was an impulse buy. So I just looked at it, I like that, and I want a hidden movement game. That's what I wanted.
It looks cool, by the way.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, that's good. But I did look at the ratings on it, which was 7.2. I don't know if that's good or bad. But 7
out of 10.
Yeah, so it's got to be all right?
Yeah. So I think generally
you guys have got me into that, by the way. I would never have done that.
But for me, above 7 means good game. Below 7 means average.
We could do a whole episode about
We could.
how relevant
Let's not go
the
down that
rating of a game is, because it's
Yeah,
all done by
because-
users.
So
Anyway,
had you
so it's-
already bought the game when you saw that it was 7, or was
No,
that...
no, I looked at the rating of it.
Yeah.
So
Not,
if
not the
they'd have-
complexity
if-
rating. I didn't give a crap.
If they'd have
Nice.
given a crap rating, would you still have bought it, or would you have done more research to then decide if you were going to
Well,
do
that's
it?
a good question.
so if it's sat at 5,
I would probably still bought it, to be honest,
Yeah.
because I wanted a
wouldn't have
specific
done.
game, which is like a hidden movement game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so I want to finish this main segment by just saying very simply, I want your top 2 favourite
easy.
middleweight games, and if you've got a quick reason as to why. So I'm going to do it in the opposite way around I've been doing it. Tambo, what do you recommend?
I'll think about this now. Top 2.
Top 2.
Don't pick mine.
Shall I come back to you?
That's okay. I'll do it.
You
So-
could wait, because we'll cut
yeah.
all that nonsense out, and then when he's ready, he's good. So, yeah.
Okay. I would go. I think Lost Ruins is one of my favourite midweight ones.
Okay,
Because
interesting.
I played that a lot and I've got it, and it's one of my family's favourites.
Lost Friends of Arnak, okay.
Yeah.
Love that game.
Yeah.
it's a good game.
That's definitely a midweight game. Oh, I don't know.
Well, we'll put him
I've
under
got-
pressure now, haven't I?
I've got to say, would Outer Rim be a midweight game? Or was that
Yeah,
too
go
soon?
on. Yeah, no, go on. Yeah, I'd have Out of Rim.
So
Yeah.
what is it instantly in that decision? What were you weighing up in your mind to decide if it was Bloodburn?
Well, just the complexity level in my
Okay.
mind, but I've
Yeah.
only played it a couple of times, so I don't really feel like I can give a very good weighting. And it has got expansions, so do you include the expansion?
I have
in
to
it?
include the expansion in
You
it.
know, so and I haven't played the expansion, so maybe I'm not the one to ask. but
2.4, 2.52.
There you go.
There you go.
So-
Yes, yeah.
but that's
okay.
probably
It's
without
not-
expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
base.
that for me, it felt like a midway game. So is that your second?
Yeah, definitely, because it's the one I play the most. So it's-
Buckle?
Everyone's already guessed at home. She's going to say
Too many
Terraforming Mars.
Oh, sorry.
Terraforming Mars with the expansions, and I don't really care what number that makes it out to. In my mind, it's a midway.
4.1.
So it's
Well,
Yeah.
I actually,
Yeah,
in my mind,
happening.
I would have chosen that, but I think that's a heavyweight game.
See,
In
I
my
think
mind.
the base game's middleweight, but I think heavyweight does take it.
So-
Sorry, the expansions take it up to about 3.7,
agree.
3.8 for
I
me.
agree with you.
But I would say again, guys,
Subjective,
totally
isn't it?
subjective.
Yeah.
So if Becky thinks that's a midweight,
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
fine,
with
yeah.
that.
Well, it's because it's a game that you all play that I like.
Yeah, and
So
you
in
know
my
it really
mind,
well. So.
in my mind, that makes it midway.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fine.
And
You
my-
know what you should do?
What's that?
Do an episode on Terra. Oh no, we've done one.
And of course, Lords of Waterdeep with the expansion, 100% with the expansion, because I think that just is. It will be forever one of my favourite games ever.
Yeah.
I just
I don't
love
think I'll
it.
play it without the expansion, to be honest.
I just love it for its comforting, even though it can be very sort of confrontational when we play it. And it will always hold a soft spot in my heart. I love the pieces we've got for it. It's so you can crack it out on a Sunday afternoon because everyone knows it, and it's just fun to play.
Yeah.
And I really like that. One day I will win it, but I have not seen that day yet. And if I can't choose Terraforming Mars,
No,
No, you can.
You
You can. It's just that's
I'm
my
just
my
trying to
opinion.
think of another.
Becky, you've got.
You've
Terraforming
chosen it.
Mars.
It's important that we don't pull you down on that.
No, I
Because
think it's
you
great.
think it is, and that's
Yeah,
the point.
no,
That was the
yeah,
point
yeah,
you were
that's the
making.
point, right,
That is
yes,
your
100%.
point.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
you think it's
It's
midway.
the-
That's cool.
it's the whole
Because
discussion of
you
it.
don't struggle with it. You don't.
Yeah, no,
the way you
I-
assess midweight games is
Do I struggle?
no, like
Your
That is it.
comfort level.
it's your comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah.
And you find Terraforming Mars with all the expansions that you play comfort.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's relevant, in my opinion.
Right, so I'm going to get in mine now, just before JP steals my last one.
Oh,
Which
please
is
don't.
Dune
from interesting.
Imperium
Oh no, that's not
is
mine.
my midway.
Yeah, that's midway,
now I'm
that's
going to say probably without the expansions, because the expansions, when you play them all together, it's getting dangerously up above 3, I would say.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you're happy with, I always play it with all expansions,
Yeah.
but I want it to be a midway game, so it's a midway game. So, yeah, Dune Imperium, all expansions, absolutely love it. That is my, I would say, favourite, but also honourable mention then, if we're sharing Lords of Waterdeep then. That was my second choice.
I just really don't like Dune Imperium.
What?
I just find
You
it
don't
so
have to.
boring. No, I don't. I'm just really surprised because it's so
It
similar.
wasn't reviewing it, was it?
No. I can't work out why I don't like it because it's so similar to Lost Ruins of Arnak, isn't it?
It
In
is,
its
yeah.
gameplay, I'm not saying it's the same game because
It's better. It is
No,
better.
see, I just don't agree. I just don't agree.
But yeah.
I wish I did because you all love playing
It's
it
the
and I
same-
don't like playing
It's
it.
exactly how I feel about Ark Nova. I can't understand why I hate the game, but I should love it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I just.
Oh,
I,
hate's a bit strong.
I was going to say you didn't hate it last time. You were frustrated.
No,
Now he hates it.
Yeah.
He's
It's gone down.
decided.
Stupid
Now it's
gone down
elephants.
below,
Stupid elephants.
No, that's fair enough. But there we go. What about you, JP?
Me, the two that just spring to my mind, Coimbra.
Oh, yeah.
Coimbra, it's still there. I still own it. I haven't got rid of it yet.
Love Coimbra.
And I love playing it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit the table often enough, but I don't mind it because it's like even if I play it once a year, I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about that game, the dice drafting, just
Yeah.
It's just the decision space in there, and it's just fun. It's different every time. We keep thinking the purple track's overpowered, but then we find out it's not.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. It's great. So that's number one. Number two is Lorenzo or Magnifico, is one that I just enjoy.
You know, I was about to say to you, honourable mention to that game that I can never remember the title of. JP, help me out, and
It's that
Lorenzo
one.
Il Magnifico.
So that one I just enjoy. The card play. There's little cards that you put and build your little engine as you go. Great.
I didn't
That's
like
what
it
I
the first time I
define.
played it.
No, you didn't,
And then
did you?
loved it.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? It's just an interesting game, and again, it's different every time. Weird that you have dice rolls that determine your power level of your workers and things like that. It's just it's just cool.
That's a common theme amongst those two games, actually, and the theme itself is not. I'm not saying it's similar, but it feels similar.
Yeah. So when you say midweight game, especially midweight Euro, I kind of gravitate towards historical setting, set in a town or city in Europe.
That's beige.
That's beige. And that I just go there. So it's like your Lorenzos, it's your Toires, your
Viticulture.
Yeah, it's all. It's just I don't know. They just sit there and they just tend to be around those kind of theme games, don't they? And yeah, like Teotihuacan, although that's slightly on the heavier side, but it's still midweight.
Right, there's that section. I think we pretty much covered everything we want to cover. So moving on.
Let's do it.
Moving on to our next section of the pod is going to be a Would You Rather. So guys, here's the question for you.
Come on, let's do it.
Would you rather learn and play a game via a learning video and then you're allowed to Google any issues throughout the game, or you've just got the rule book? So you got you can read it beforehand and you can refer to it in game. See, I know my
You're
answer,
dirty.
so I'm going to start us off.
You're
Sorry,
dirty.
It is a penchant of mine to be dirty. But I'm going to start us off because I've already formulated an answer and this is kind of fresh for you guys.
Okay.
So for me, I'd rather video and Google because I really, really struggle with just the rule books. I find it difficult to find the motivation to look at it beforehand if it's on me, and then I find it sometimes with the way they're designed difficult to refer to. A good rule book is a different question, and we could go into rule books to a large degree later. But for me, video and then Google is the best way forward.
Yeah.
So, go on, JP.
I'm the other way, I think.
You love reading rule books just for the
I thought
sheer
you
hell
would
of
be.
it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I find reading rule books a fun experience.
Crazy
Well,
man.
Because I like to live dangerously, guys. That's why.
Because you're a wild party animal.
Because I'm a wild man. No, I do. I genuinely love the experience of getting a new game, thumbing through the rule book, sitting on the sofa, just chilling out, reading it, and going, "Eh? Oh yeah, that's cool," and just learning it. But you're right. You make a solid point, which is why it's not a clear-cut choice, because a shit rule book is a shit rule book, and that makes that experience awful. And if you've got no other reference, then you are flying blind, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
And then, but on the flip side, what I'm kind of toying with, if I just happen to look on videos, one, there might not be a video of the game.
These days, it's quite rare.
Okay, then there might not be a good video of the game.
Well, yeah.
And then I hate having to Google things about a game when I'm midway through a game and thumbing through Board Game Geek forums. I just hate doing it. It's just like it takes you out of the game. You're trying to find an answer to a rules query. Hate doing it. So for me, I'd rather do the upfront investment, thumb through it. Maybe if it's not quite clear, then play a few kind of dummy rounds by myself to get the flow of the game, and then
I think we've worked out that you're just harder working than I am, and more dedicated.
maybe.
I'm way too lazy for that.
Nah, see, I just find it like we've talked about it before, but for me, learning games is not a hellish experience. So for me, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So the whole thing from unboxing, popping, and reading the rule book,
Yes, yeah, I like doing all
organising,
of
all of
that.
that, love it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you
I
said
love
reading the
unboxing
rulebook.
and popping. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on my own. I'm
Get your
like,
little baggy backs out. You got your
Yeah,
bags,
it's
so
lovely, isn't it?
you can play, why haven't they supply baggies? Why haven't they?
Why have they put this in? Oh, you should move the tokens in there, and then you got everything by player colour. Oh, that's it.
thankfully, me and Becky live together, so she does the bulk.
It's a good partnership with you
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Well, I just sit there and she does the work.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I say partnership. I mean, it's slavery. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, Tambo. What do you think, mate?
Okay, so this is interesting. I'll have to go to every game I've played and bought. I've generally played with you guys. So I've already played it, so I don't really need to look. I already know roughly how it plays. There's 2 games that I bought and you never had, which was Dog Park first. So I bought that one
Yeah, you
first.
did.
And I've just bought Beast, which is another one. I've read the rule books. I don't look at videos, so I've got to go with that.
Okay.
I look at rule books and I read it.
So actually, you're not sure which way you would go, but you've actually just done it, and
Yeah.
you went rulebook.
Yeah, the 2 I've had to actually learn to play, I've read the rule book. I've never even think about going on Google or looked at a video.
Interesting.
And I enjoyed it.
I get it.
But then I haven't read like a rule book for like, say, Weather Machine or anything like that. It is a middleweight games we're talking here. I mean, if it was a heavyweight game, I can't choose that. It's got to be one or the other, isn't it?
All right. Well, I'll tell you what then, T. Just for you,
Yeah.
heavyweight game that no one else knows, and you're
Right.
responsible.
You've got
for teaching.
Voidfall. It's just landed, right?
Christ.
You've got it. It's boxed up. It's all done.
Which
right?
which one do you go for?
I'd have to probably go for a video first.
do you
I'll
watch
have a quick look at the rule book and go, yeah, I'm going to watch a video. And I can always go back to watch the rule book.
And here's my answer to this question,
Yeah.
right? Do you watch Paul Grogan's 1 hour video, or do you read the rule book, the compendium, the glossary, the rules reference, right? Because there are 4 books in that game. And to be fair, they're really well written,
Right.
and weirdly it works in the way that
Yeah.
you access the rules and you know where to go. But my God, if you pick that up for the first time, you
Yeah.
go,
What the hell?
Jesus! I mean, you just say start here. It's like big red letters. Start here, guys, and it tells you what to do. And gets you-
Instinctively, I'll
but
go
s-
video.
But still,
The hour video
there you
I've
go.
watched.
Yeah.
Oh, you might have changed my answer now.
But I still love it.
So that's interesting though. For a midweight for you, it's rule book,
Oh,
and for a
100%.
heavyweight, it's video. And that's
Yeah.
a perfectly valid answer. Go on, Bex.
Well, my initial response was 100% video.
Yeah.
But then when T just mentioned about the new game that he got, that because I'm in the same camp with you, Tambo, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've not bought a game that no one else had until I bought Astra,
Yeah.
or until I was buying Astra. So I was relying on everyone else.
Yeah.
And to be honest, neither, but probably the video because it's quicker, I think. However, when I bought a game that no one else had and it was going to be down on me, I read that rule book back, you know,
Yeah,
up,
you did,
down,
yeah.
left, right, centre. But that partially was because that was the only part of Astra I could consume at the time, was the rule book. So I
Yeah.
read it, and it's a very light rule book in fairness. But equally, when I bought Unfathomable, I did the same thing. I downloaded the rule book and I read all of it.
It is it's an interesting point, because like when you're excited about a game, and I know you
Yeah.
Astra, you were like all over it, weren't
Yeah.
you? You're like, I just need this in my life right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Let's bring it on.
I just
And-
wanted to join the Mindclash clan because you were all so into it and I wasn't, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can be part of it.
You are
now.
part of the Mindclash
It's
clan.
always Voidfall.
There's always a
Yeah.
Voidfall,
Yeah.
Becky.
I don't want to be part of the club anymore. I'm
I
all right
reckon-
with sitting on the side.
I reckon Septima's going to
Yeah, I
be
reckon
your
Septima's
bag.
gonna be-
Maybe.
my one.
I reckon
Yeah.
I could work her up to Tricarion one day.
I reckon, yeah, Tricarion is
You
great.
you would like the theme,
Yeah.
and that might make you want to learn the game enough to give it a go.
It does look very pretty on the table.
It does.
I
I
have
want to
to
learn a
say.
game with me. I haven't played it before yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah. I
Listeners,
don't
you've
know
heard
the
it
space.
here
I'm just
first.
saying that you should do
Me
that.
and T have agreed to play
Is
Tricarion. Maybe we'll do it.
But
'Cause
I
there's
would
one more
say
set
it
up.
does come with a disclaimer that it will be the heaviest game you've ever played.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'll do it.
And you will struggle with it.
Yeah,
but
that's all right.
Push through, and I reckon
Yeah.
you'll enjoy it.
All right. But back to the question you made. I think I prefer watching a video. But what think I've actually found myself doing is reading the rule book and then
Okay.
yeah. But that's
Interesting.
because I usually rely on you guys to teach me the game.
Yeah.
So I think for me, watching a video, because I need to kind of have a big overview.
Yeah.
So I think watching a video, of a shortened video of maybe not someone's actual playthrough, but this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, gives me enough of a, this is what the point of the game is. Where I think in some rule books you don't get that, do you? With some rule books it's just very, very, this is how you do this thing, this is how you do this thing. It doesn't really always give you an overview of a round or a game. So I'm going to say video because that's what I've used mostly.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
but I did teeter back and forth.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's a good question, that. It's a very good
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks. So there's that section. I think we've pretty much mulled over that one as much as we can. So moving on. On to our penultimate turn. So we're going to chat about things coming up. Doesn't have to be board game related, what you're excited about, but it could be board game related. I know mine is. So if you've, well, JP, yours is going to be easy. JP, what are you excited about that's coming up?
You mean you've got to think I'm going to say holiday?
Yeah.
Well,
right?
that is what
but
I'm
I
assuming.
already used that a few episodes ago.
All right, fair enough.
So I am obviously really excited about going on holiday.
Yeah.
Like, guys, like seriously,
Yeah.
it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But no, what's been burning through my brain
Yeah.
on the excitement levels is game related. Is actually I was in the car with Stephen going towards Paul Grogan's house playing Voidfall, and he was talking about his experience in playing Imperium Classics. And I've heard about this game. It's a deck building Civ game, and it's designed by, funnily enough, Nigel Buckle and David Turtsey.
Sold.
Yeah, and
Yep, I can see Kerley's almost online now buying it.
I kind of know about this game. I've heard of it. It's been out for a few years. I've never really been interested in it, but now I've played Voidfall and the designer that did it, I was like, maybe I should give it a look. And then Stephen was telling me all about it, how it worked, and I thought, you know what, it sounds bloody interesting because it's a deck builder, but it adds a bit of complexity in there. Makes it really interesting.
He's going on the internet now. He's going to buy it. I can see him. Look
so
what he's
yeah,
doing.
I mean, if you buy it, it means I don't have to. So that's great. And it's you play as different kind of nations. So you've got like the Romans, the Greeks, and
have you designed a game for him? Have you literally designed a game for him?
Yeah, and the whole purpose is you start off like in a barbarian state, and you've got to clean your deck out, and then you'll end up kind of evolving or maturing into an empire. And again, it's all card play. You play this, you activate that, you exhaust this and that, and it looks pretty cool. Artwork looks really kind of nice, cartoony, really well done. And I watched a little playthrough and thought, yeah, if I wasn't going on holiday, I probably would have already bought it. But because I'm away for the next 2 weeks, Kerley, you've got a window.
Don't worry, yeah, it'll be it'll have arrived in the group.
I'm looking at it. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
So that's what's been floating around in my little washing machine of a brain of games at the moment. But yeah, it does look cool. So yeah, I'm up for it.
I shall do some research.
If you get it before I come home, then cool.
If not,
I'll probably get it.
I'm having it.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
There you go. That's me.
All right, thanks, JP. Tambo.
In a week's time, we're playing Twilight Inscription, aren't we?
Twilight Inscription.
Oh, the roll and write TI game.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to play this.
Yeah, you're away.
I
now.
know.
Sunning it
You'll
up
be having
in beautiful
fun in
Florida.
Disney.
So,
You'll be fine.
Playing Twilight. Now doing
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'll be watching a video on it, so I haven't played it yet either.
Oh.
It's
I
the
mean, it
one
looks
bought off Dan.
mental. Like it's just the sheets and
Yeah.
Is it just as long?
no,
No, it's small.
No.
it's the longest
I was
roll
going
and
to say,
write
is
game
that
I've
playing on
ever
a Sunday
played.
night?
Yeah.
One of the longest roll and writes, yeah. And it's got the really cool orange pens, isn't it?
Yes.
Orange pens.
Yeah, they're like really like
Becky's
neon
interesting.
orange on like
Oh.
dark mats so it really pops. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, me too, T.
No,
I'm looking
good.
forward to that as well,
I
mate.
went and steal it.
Huh?
And it's still yours, did I?
No,
No,
not
it's
at all,
not.
mate. I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah. I didn't actually realise I signed up for it till I literally looked about a couple of days ago. And
Ooh.
Obviously, Dan didn't get on with it then. If you sold it to
No,
him.
he found it okay, but he wasn't that worried about it, to be honest with you. So I took the advantage of the situation and
Thanks, Dan.
hey, cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. I'll be having that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what is that? Next Sunday.
yeah, we.
Yeah, exactly a week today. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that too. But just trying to see who's actually signed up for it. We got 5 people for it, which
Probably
is
4 then, right?
which is
Not Facebook tonight.
no, there's actually
They're actually phones.
so yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, mate. Yeah, enjoying it. Sweet. All right, thanks, T.
Right.
So with mine, I'm gonna say Ascendancy. So I know I briefly talked about Ascendancy last episode. However, I've got a Ascendancy in-person playthrough with Paul Grogan from Gaming Rules.
It's your first time.
My first time going to Paul's, yeah. So
Nice.
looking forward to playing Ascendancy again. I've played it on Tabletop Simulator with the designer, Matthew Meeple.
Mm-hmm.
Best
Great name.
ever.
Great name.
Best game
Great
name ever. I actually want to know whether it can be coincidence, surely.
I think we need to ask him.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to find out. It might be like,
Go on Board Game Geek and ask him.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I know he's listed on Board Game Geek as Matthew Meeple because I did check.
Yeah.
But I was like, that can't be right.
Good bit.
Anyway, so Matthew Meeple played TTS with him, Paul, and someone else, Mike. And then I played in person with Adrian from our pod because we wanted to get a bit of a practice in, learn the rules. Adrian's never played it before, so to get a bit familiar with the game. Loved it even more, I have to say. I used, now that I was a little bit, I played it once on TTS, I was like trying out a few other little things, like going down the technology tree, which was something that I didn't really do. And that was really interesting, gave me some interesting powers, made me better overall, but I felt more powerful, more able to do the other things in the game as well. So that has fed the fire a little bit. And then, Wednesday, going to Paul's to actually play with him and Adrian. I'm really looking forward to it.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of go in his studio and play the game. It's yeah. I'll see what you think when you come back.
Yeah, definitely. And it's felt like a bit of an evolution of me getting into it as well.
Yeah.
So, definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and to say big thanks to Paul. He's a big supporter of our podcast and gives us a good shout out on his videos when we kind of appear. So we always appreciate that. And,
and even the odd invite down to things like this just really help with us and, segments like this really.
We kind of help each other, don't we? Because we help him with certain games and I've taught him games in the past and he's just got, like always, there's so many games out there. You can't learn them all or cover them all. No. So, kind of help him out where we can.
Yeah. So, Becky, how about yourself?
Well, this has just made me realise that I'm looking forward to putting some events in the calendar of games I want to play.
Yes!
That we haven't played in a little while.
Do it!
Yeah.
It's taken me a couple of years of encouragement, but you're actually going to put in
So I really want to play that Orleans game.
Okay.
We still haven't played yet. It's still sat on the damn shelf.
Do you think it's because I'm not that worried about it? So do you think it's made
Didn't you buy it?
I might have bought it, but it would have been with Becky in mind.
Right, okay.
Because it's not my sort of game.
Well, I didn't know that. I know nothing about it other than the hype that you kind of said.
Midway Euro, right?
Yeah. Fits perfectly into the show. We should have played it beforehand.
Yeah.
I've always got other priorities than games like that. That's my problem. So you're going to put it in?
I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to put in another game of Trois, but I'm obviously going to wait for you to come back from holiday, JP. Because,
I'll play that again.
Yeah, you like.
Have you got Ladies of Trois yet?
No. Difficult.
It's not
it's
difficult
expensive.
to get
No, it's expensive. I think you can get it, but
I think a lot of people say you don't really need it.
I like it how it is.
It's pretty good how it is. It's still cutthroat and a bit knobby, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
but it's just good. And it's
your
just
favourite
good.
flavour.
Well, it's like I'm going to take your dice. Oh, you get.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah, no, I like that.
What
So
it is.
I'm looking forward to putting games in because I've just realised I've got nothing in.
We want to definitely get New Orleans on, so I'll play that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, you were going to do it, weren't you? At one point, we put it.
Yeah, we actually had a. We
So
did
you
have
asked
it
me
in
to
the
get video
calendar.
time.
I think it
We
might have been
did.
Trois I was thinking of, to be honest.
I'm sure
When
you
I
were
said
about
that
to
I
call,
wasn't
yeah.
that keen on
No,
it.
we've had Orleans in the
It
calendar.
looks really
Yeah,
good.
I
I
think
think
it was
we
the
had
other
and
I
it changed for
was
some reason. I can't remember
Yeah,
what it
I
was.
can't remember either. Yeah.
But, yeah,
So I'm going to put that in the calendar. I'm really looking forward to Dog Park New Tricks coming in. I know that game isn't loved by everybody.
I quite like it.
I think it's just a cute little game, really.
I mean,
And
the game is what it is, isn't it? It's on the lighter end.
yeah,
And like I say, I don't hate it. I just don't find
I
it
just
enough
like
for
the
me.
picture.
That's it.
I think it fits in for my sort of feelings of I've been really tired at work. We've just got back. We haven't got anything necessarily planned in the evening. We just think, let's just crack out a game that isn't a task. It's just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And there's cute dog pictures.
Yeah, just want
And
to
I
look at
like-
different breeds of dogs and have a good
and
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's mine's just a personal taste thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for it,
that's
really.
fair enough. And doing some more jigsaws as well, actually, because at Kerley's board game weekend, pretty much when everyone had gone, who was playing the last game?
Me and Tambo were playing
Kapow.
Kapow,
You two were
that's it.
playing Kapow.
I really like that, by the
Yeah,
way.
good. Yeah, it's good fun. I love that game.
So they were playing Kapow. So I thought, do you know what? The other table set up because of where we were playing other games. I'm going to get the old puzzle kind of board thing that I've got that I inherited from one of my parents and do a 500-piece jigsaw. And I cracked it out in one night and I really liked
It's
it and I
great,
had really
isn't it?
good fun. Yes!
It reminds me of an experience that we had. Joshua got 1001. Is it maybe it's 1,000? Yeah, whatever. He got 1001 jigsaw. It's called an impossible jigsaw, and it's full of
impossible
emojis.
puzzle.
Basically, every piece was just like loads of emojis, and my God, like when we got it out, and it just became this thing. It was on our table for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And like every now and then, Shell was sat at the table doing it for an hour. Josh was there for an hour. I would get involved,
Yeah.
and it's just super chill,
Yeah.
isn't it? I forgot
Yeah.
what puzzles, how they can make you feel.
It reminded me of being a child.
Yeah,
it
just
really
sitting there,
did.
just,
Yeah.
no, and an hour's gone, like bang.
Yeah, well, I did it
Brilliant.
in probably, I don't know, like 3 hours. It was only 500-piece, so it's not,
Still.
crazy. Yeah, I think I've got the right kind of brain for jigsaw puzzles, in fairness. And this one was, it was highly detailed,
Yeah.
with it was like a spice kind of shop,
Okay.
say in Morocco or something.
Yeah.
So it was very brightly coloured, like the hue and saturation had been ramped right up. It was a very...
It's just popped out. of it.
yeah, so you had all these kind of jars and all these kind of spices in big piles. So you could look at a piece for long enough, then look at it, and you could know exactly where on that. And my brain is quite good at that, which is why I should be better at board games, but I'm just not.
That's the opposite of the impossible puzzle, which is I pick up a piece and it's got a smiling emoji, of which there's about 500 on this picture, and I don't know where it goes.
I don't think I'd like that one,
It's
JP.
really
I don't think I
frustrating.
want to buy that.
But
I've
you
got-
had to do it. It become a thing. You
Yes.
just had to finish
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
all together when you put the final piece in?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've got 4 Disney World ones, actually, that I bought when me and Kerley went on our honeymoon.
Nice.
Last year or whenever it was. So I need to do those.
They're cool.
So I'm going to put more jigsaw puzzles in
Yeah,
my
do it.
life. Wow, what a wild party animal I am.
Woo! Go for 3D and do the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, no thanks. So with that, we'll move on to the final part of the pod, which is the final turn, which is just an exit from us. So our final turn's wrapping up. Victory points are about to be scored. Thanks everyone for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe and review our podcast. And also, we would like you to ask, if you do enjoy the podcast, please give it to someone else that you know who you think you might enjoy it. Give the link, share the link, or ask them to give us a quick listen. Get in contact with us on the show. We'd like to know what your favourite middleweight games are, and we'd also like to know what you thought about the video and a Google.
Oh, the Would You Rather.
Yeah, the Would You Rather video and Google versus the rulebooks. Tell us what you think about
Well,
that one there.
which midweight games haven't we played that we should?
Yeah,
Because
well,
I reckon there's a
definitely.
bunch of them that we've not even remotely touched.
Well,
Yeah.
there's just so many games in general. There are
Yeah.
some that are probably awesome that just go under the radar. a
Absolutely.
little
There'll
bit,
be
you
some
know?
gems. What are the gems that we should play? Yeah.
So if you'd like to get in contact with us, then you can find the links below, but also email, Facebook, Insta, TikTok, Board Game Geek we've got now. And Threads.
Yeah.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks with another episode, so until then, whose turn is it?
Yours.
Yay.